to lead.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Unlimited TV Radio. My name is Idafi Matthews. You're you love to come in the Unlimited on the Sports. It's the Friday edition. So for the next 90 minutes, we're going to be here in the studio, open up to every single question you are ready to throw at us, whether in football, outside of football, family, life, job, everything. You know how the Friday is. It's free for all. Anything goes. So if you're there, I'm here. I've got my two angels in the building. Yes, the other one is Naomi is under the weather, the smiley face, the food loving, Big Brother loving, Lipless loving. Awesome is in the building. Awesome, Uche. How are you? Good morning. So how was it for you yesterday? And the weather's kind of a bit cold, right?
Yes, but like I'm not really feeling it.
But
I know that it's cold, but like it's not really
that cold, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know. Let me go to the one from Cotonou, our francophone girl that does not know how to speak French. Okay.
I'm feeling it.
Ça va bien? Okay, good. Don't go there now, right? That after ça va bien, merci. I don't know. Any other thing is comment for me. Okay, comment ça va, right? Au revoir. All those funny things. That's what I know. Well, let's get in on the groove. We've got time, but we don't have time because time flies when you're having fun, and it promises to be plenty of fun today. We're gonna add the opportunity for the interns to also ask me questions because I mean, let's do this thing live. Learning is live now. E-learning, so they say, right? So let's start with your stories. You got some 3 stories, and you got 4 stories. Let's start with you, beautiful. Your stories are missing?
No.
Okay.
No,
No need to you.
Yeah, so Canada are making it easy for carpenters, plumbers, welders, apparently skilled workers to get visa to come to Canada because they need to visit our economy.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Mechanic listed there?
Yes.
Okay, my mechanic wants to relocate. He's been asking me he wants to relocate. I think I would help him out. You want to go to Canada?
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I'm not interested.
Even this media thing that we do to be like easier, I think in that side.
Really? I don't know. I don't know.
I think they've got much opportunities.
I don't know.
So if you had the chance, you'll not go to Canada.
No, I don't. I won't relocate not if I have the chance. I have the chance every day. I've lived in Canada before. I won't relocate. To do what? Nah. So I'm too old for that. That's one. And the time I was busy traveling, it never really occurred to me that. So I've never been one of those persons, practically because I started traveling pretty early in my life. But it never really occurred to me that, you have to relocate to another country and then find a life. I don't know how that works. When I see people do it, so everybody's not going to live their life like me, and I'm not going to live my life like everybody. But when I see people do it, I'm always like, okay, so what's the catch? I'm not really seeing it because most times I see people who ordinarily will not do menial job in Nigeria now accepting to do caregiver. You know that one caregiver is somebody who change diapers for old people, who take care of old people. But you won't do it even for your parents or family members here. No, I can. I think I am talented enough to make money anywhere in the world. And so in Nigeria, the struggle might be difficult because I'm dealing with a whole lot of. Nigeria, the government is set up against you. The system is set up against you. But I think, or I know, I am talented enough to be successful anywhere. Again, I'm a high performance person. I'm not a low lever person. This is no disrespect to any other person, but I always know that I'm a high performance person, high end person, and there are certain things. If I go to Canada, let's say for instance, I now go to Canada, I'm doing a caregiver. I definitely will go to jail. No, for sure. Continue with your news.
Maybe this is a bit of a sad news.
Go ahead with it.
The lady was arrested. She told me the lady was arrested for burying her child, her daughter, a newborn baby, alive.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Like she set the girl on fire. Why?
No, she buried her.
Buried her alive.
Newborn baby. But they arrested and rescued the baby.
And no comments.
You know, it's one of those questions. People will say abortion is bad, like, you should not do abortion and everything, but you know how people like go to this extreme to not want a child.
But if you don't want a child, I think you could go drop the child at an orphanage. It does make a lot of sense. Give the child the chance to survive, to live on their own terms, not you know, even though dumping the child in an orphanage pretty much just makes it double hard for the child to survive and live well. But again, I think it's about time we get to the point where people can advertise. I don't know, but we live in a digital world right now. We buy almost everything online. So people can advertise that they want to sell their child that they don't want. I think people should be allowed to do that.
We don't know actually, like child trafficking.
It's not child trafficking. It's like there are people who don't have children, and you're pregnant. You know that you're not going to keep this pregnancy. You should be bold enough. Girls are bold enough to walk naked these days. I mean, when I was growing up, you can't say a girl's bra or a pants, but these days people just advertise the nakedness everywhere on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere. It's fun now to walk naked, and it's not a big deal anymore. And it doesn't make men go like, wow, if they say naked woman anymore. It's not like it's not a big deal anymore, right? So I think that we've reached this stage in life. Instead of burying children alive, instead of having an abortion or going through that, once you're pregnant and you know you're not interested, you're settled in your head that you're not interested in that child is going to like disturb your life, it's going to stop your career, your life trajectory, you should be able to advertise for people to adopt it, and government should be able to support you on that front. Like, okay, it's legal. Then you do all the paperwork, somebody takes the child, and you sign off that you will never go back and try to retrieve the child, and everybody's fine. Sometimes I just think we create laws that are obsolete, that are not in touch with the times that we live in. Because if you have that opportunity, it's my opinion, but just my opinion. No, child, the baby will not get traumatized. Baby will not remember. So yeah, it's sad unless they tell the baby the story in the future. But for now, I was abandoned when I was 3 months, so they didn't change anything. Forget about traumatizing. Leave that one. Nobody they traumatize nobody. Continue your last story.
Yeah, this is a bit from Hollywood. Lizzo, she was accused by
Fat girl.
She was accused by a dancer for shaming them, doing that. So now she has come to clarify that she was not shaming anybody.
They fat shame Lizzo all the time, so why would Lizzo be the one fat shaming anybody?
I don't know, but I feel that it's going real big. Like online now, people are saying that she's toxic, that she creates she's like the new Ellen DeGeneres, that she's pretending to be kind when she's creating toxic and using the environment on.
So I think the work environment, the work environment I worked in for 13 years. This generation, if people work there, you drink poison and die. Yes, the work environment I worked in for 13 years in radio before I got here. Almost everybody I know today who talk about, and this word toxic, we should be careful, because these days if you discipline people, it's toxic work environment. I've had people who work with me like, oh, I'm seeing my period, I can't come to work. Oh, there's traffic, I can't come to work. Oh, there's rain, I can't come to work. If you go hard on people like that, I mean, I used to work in a place where if you come late, maybe 5 minutes into your show before you arrive, you lose your 3 days pay cut. I think this generation will call that toxic. It's not toxic. It's a business. See, if you don't like it, then get out of the space. And everybody's not going to be nice. Everybody's not just going to be nice in the work. The workplace is not. I agree that sometimes be humane, but you too that is coming to work, try and understand that It's not a hospice. It's not a caregiving environment. It's a work environment. It's a capitalist environment. You must understand that it's a capitalist environment, and this person is investing money. Sometimes they are taking their life savings to put in there, and some things are pinching them in their chest, in their heart, in their soul while they are doing that investment. And watching you mess it up is enough for them. So there is a standard. There's a standard that everybody has set. Like, okay, this is the standard I want to hit at this time. This is my, in 3 years' time. You know, I thought when I started by now I would have 1 million subscribers. So every day I go to sleep, I am frustrated about that. Like, oh, still 12,000. And then you come to work and you have a lackadaisical attitude, and then I take it out on you, and you say it's a toxic environment. I don't think that anybody should come to work and think that the work environment should be lovely and nice. Get on your toes, get your job done, and get the fuck out of the space. That's what I say. So people who talk about toxic working environment, I do understand, because I mean, I worked there for 13 years. I worked in the most toxic working environment for 13 years. Nobody's going to come and explain that to you, to me, better than myself. I experienced it, but I thrive in that. I think this generation are too soft, too weak, too entitled, and acting like somebody owed them. Even the worst one is the ones who come from poor. I can understand if, for instance, I know Tedola daughter is working somewhere and she's acting all entitled. I can understand. I can take that. One man who taught me a whole lot of things that I know helped me keep a straight head, Barrister Paul Musa. If his daughter Avia shows up to work here and she's acting, and he pretty much could call her my daughter, right? If she's acting entitled, I can understand. Your friend, Mfonuso come and work here and she's acting all entitled. She have the right because of what her mom and her dad have done for me. But don't show up in my work environment where you don't know where I get my naira and kobo to put my business together, and you're acting all entitled. And then when I remind you or reprimand you, call you to order, you go on social media and call it a toxic environment. I don't think that's the right thing. I worked in a place where my colleagues were betting against my success. Like, that you fail. No, you can't do it for 3 months. He can't even make it. They forget about all this hailing that they are hailing him. He will crash just now. He can't hold this whole coming to work, not coming late. He can't hold it long. These people that I work with, people were sabotaging what I was doing. But it didn't change me. You just have to find a way to work. Does that make it bad? No, that's how much they know. That's what they think they know. I worked in an office where they allocated chairs and tables to everybody they didn't give me. They told me not to use the office LAN cable. Yeah, and I'm the only football analyst that they have for between 2004 and 2012. That long. The head of program says I shouldn't use the LAN because I'm not officially their staff. And then I need to go live. I need to talk about show. So I climb up from 10-story building on the stairs, climb down, go to a cyber cafe. First off, the cyber cafe doesn't work on Sunday. I had to go befriend a girl there, and then I give her money to come to work on Sunday. I climb from 10th floor up, down, go to the cyber cafe, print out scores from live score. Between when I cross that road, Adema Lakija, opposite Why Not, and come back to 634 Malakija Eleganza building and climb up, the score lines would have changed. But then I come back inside the studio, and then I talk again for another 30 minutes, and when we go on that commercial break, I'm running down again to go get this thing, panting, I'm doing my show. That, it's not once, 1 week, 1 month. That was my story from 2004 up until 2011. Then we moved to Bogije, and I had to buy my own internet, sort of my own set. It's crazy. Is it toxic? I don't even know. I don't even see it as toxic. I just look at the people.
Very toxic.
To you, it's toxic. To me, that person is small-minded. That's somebody who did not have privilege in the home they come from. So when they see other people, because it's not your own thing, it's a company's property. When they see things, they want to use it to show that they are big. I want to prove to you that I'm big. Oh, this one, you call yourself S-footballer. I want to be able to prove to people that I am the one mending this guy. But it didn't bother me. It didn't. Shit, I have a direction. I have where I'm going to. I don't care. So not everything is a toxic environment. If you think Lizzo's show is toxic, go set up your own show and understand the hell that they go through to have a show and have it listed on Netflix, on HBO, on ABC, and come on, it's a whole lot. Okay, so let's go to our submission.
Okay, so a Muslim cleric was arrested for blasphemy for allowing women to preach inside the mosque.
Is that blasphemy? I don't know.
Yeah, and it was this
Why not see it as innovation?
Because I think, like, according to like Muslim tradition, I think
Muslim laws,
women are not
Islamic
allowed.
laws.
Yes, women are not allowed.
Women were not allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia until recently. So these laws change. These laws are made by men. So men are not made for the law. The laws are made for men. So man make law, man can amend it. Who says it cannot be amended? Well, I'm listening.
Okay, so a lady says that she got beaten up by a cab driver when she refused to pay for the ride, like upfront. Because he said he wanted to use the money to buy for black. She said that she will pay him when she gets to where she's going, but he wanted her to pay now.
How would I know the cost of the ride when I've not gotten to where I'm going to? Is it not metered? Is it not metered, right? It's Uber and it's metered. So I don't know where I'm going to. Why would I pay? What if it shows less? But that's not enough to beat. But I think that when you hear this type of stories, most times, I cannot just ask you for pay to pay and then fight will ensue. I'm sure the woman didn't say the amount of insults she rained on the guy. That's why I like Dubai cabs. If you take Karim in Dubai, there's camera inside. Everything is recorded and it's there. So I think that's something that we should also introduce. But this story does not add up. Maybe because I worked in a law firm, I'm always looking at things differently. I can't just say, you can't just tell me, give me the money up front. And it's happened to me sometimes. Bros, I want to buy for, give me like 2K or 3K, which we do. It's okay, take it. And you move on. You can't say buy for. I say, I don't have the money here. I will transfer to you later, or I will get to you when we're going. You've got to be very, very smart at this. And then I just start beating you. Your cabman is a madman. Just thinking. Oh, come to you.
Okay, so commuters were left stranded as flood takes over the Guinea Orero.
And yeah, I saw the video.
Now you said that the thing was river before was small water. Now the thing is coming up.
I don't know, Sha, but I saw it. I know I saw it.
The flood in Nigeria is going.
I don't travel by road that much anymore, but I feel for people who travel by road. Like when I saw that thing and I saw the traffic on one side and I saw the water on the other side of the road, like God. So somebody entered this road. But how does water level get to that place?
I feel like maybe because of, I don't know how to explain it. Like there's a thing, water is more than land. So I think the water is rising up.
So it chose to rise up to Nigeria. Okay, no problem.
But I'm surprised that it hasn't reached Lagos. I've not heard anything like Lagos.
You wanted to reach Lagos? Please give it your house address. What's your house address? Water. Go to the house address. Don't come here. There's enough. I'm dealing with enough here. Fuel price, no light, data is enough. I don't want to start bailing water and while still upstairs, yeah.
Okay, so an update on the Niger coup. Salami led the ECOWAS delegation to meet the Niger.
They should mind their business.
I thought they should just leave Niger alone. That they are actually doing what's best for them.
If the Niger Nigerians were complaining, then I can understand this intervention. The Nigerians are throwing party on the streets like it's Christmas in July. Why is Nigeria sending delegates when Nigeria is in worse crisis right now than Niger? As it is right now, Nigerians are happy, they are at peace. This is what they've always prayed for. And you see, the thing about African leaders and their stupidity is there was a coup in Egypt. Morsi was the president, the democratically elected president. The whole of the world celebrated it. America backed the coup. Everybody was happy about it. There was a coup in Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. The rest of the world celebrated it. So what really is this whole talk about? Like Niger were living in paradise, they were living in Paris or in Dubai standard of life, and then this coup came to truncate it. Those guys were suffering. They were hemorrhaging even on the face of. Listen, 1 in every 3 light bulb in Paris is powered by uranium that comes from Niger. Meanwhile, 80% of Nigerians are living in darkness. I don't even want this conversation because sometimes you just feel like African leaders, the sellout will still be sellout, the slave will still be the slave. It doesn't matter. Unfortunately, my leaders, my country's president and my country's leaders are right now the saboteurs of trying to keep people behind the curtains of slavery and staying under colonial imperialists. But God pass them. I know that right now, if war happen between Nigeria and Niger, and then Burkina Faso and Guinea join Niger, they go beat Nigeria. There's no two ways about it. They go beat Nigeria. That one is clear. They go beat. That's it. They go run us out of the park. Let me small Boko Haram. They kill everybody for years. We don't have to do anything. Let's go sit down in one place where contain us. Where you know get power reach. You want from bully. Our bully no go work. Nobody will listen to us this time. Well, let's come back to the sports. You got any question for me? You?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the question?
With all this Women's World Cup that is going on,
Yeah.
I think we'll win. This is the question because I've been watching.
Who do I think would win the Women's World Cup? If I say it now, I'm going to like discourage a lot of people. I think England is pretty much good for the cup. England is like, I think England is set for a World Cup, a Women's World Cup win. They've invested very well. They've done everything well. But by saying that, it means that I'm saying Nigeria is going to lose on Monday.
Japan. Like Japan have been playing.
Japan have won it once. They also, they played well in this tournament. They look like this is like 2004, 2016 all over again. Strange things are happening. Brazil have gone home. A few other countries have gone home in this tournament. But my smart money is on England until maybe if we beat England on Monday. Hey. We beat England on Monday. For my head, we have won the World Cup. If we beat England, if not when, I'm not sure we would, but I mean, we'll see. That's all I can say. You?
I don't have any question for now.
Okay, so if you have a question, let me know as we progress on the show. Well, let's come to the sporting side of life. And okay, before I even read any news and everything, let me read some of the messages that are out there already so that we get past it before we go to another level. I think today, as the messages are coming, hey, Uncle Paul, I just said Uncle, I talked about Uncle Paul Musa, right? And his daughter, Avia, beautiful daughter, and the twins. Not seeing them in forever. Like, I feel like I have PTSD trying to go to that house now. Like, lost his wife, and I just couldn't. I didn't see it coming, so it's messing me up. Every time I've driven to that place like 4 times, and I just turn back like, I can't. Uncle Paul, good morning. Okay, so Victor Malalo say good morning. Do you think our ladies can beat England? So the underlying word, the action word there is can. They can, because on their day, maybe England doesn't come show up ready. We might be there. The thing about England is that they progress in tournament. They've even surpassed their normal group stage performances, and so I don't know what will happen in the round of 16. On our day and on their bad day, we can beat them. But the smart money is on England. England is the awesome favorite to win. But many favorites have been beaten by underdog. I mean, the story of this tournament is Jamaica. Anyway. Jamaica making it. People that came to this tournament with Bob Marley's daughter doing good for me for them, and now they are in the round of 16. Okay, Mr. West 08, you say a happy employee is a productive employee. Yeah, we say that, but you see, the thing is, the work environment have changed. Before, you say like, oh, you were working, I was productive. If you follow me in real life, would you know that I wasn't happy any single fucking day that I was in that place, because I was going to a place where I knew that every. Okay, so let me give you a very good example. People hated me for coming to work early. I don't. One day our HR called me and said, "Hey, David, my problem with you is that we don't have a query on your file. Just do something." Okay, so they do praise and worship and prayer for 15 minutes in the office, and then I was doing heart tackle. And the heart tackle, you know, the host of the heart tackle is a Muslim, so he doesn't attend the prayer. He now stretched it over time by 2 minutes. I went for the prayers, 2 minutes, and then they sent me a query. And I answered it the way it was copied. They copied the chairman, his wife, everybody. And I replied, I said, in my contract, they didn't put a clause for me to do prayers. And the prayer, as I know, is optional. Am I supposed to leave the live show that I'm doing and go and pray? And then when the fans are saying he's praying, and so that was struck out. And then again, it's an organization where they cut your salary like at will, right? If you don't come to work, you come late, you do one thing, the other, you know, you don't play advert. For that, not playing advert anyway, that is okay. Now, I've not had my salary cut. My wife gave birth to my first son by 1:05, and I have a 3 o'clock show. I was in the studio. My daughter was born 2:15 p.m. By 3 o'clock, I was in the studio. Now, in all of this, my child shows up one day, Mr. Victor Ozowe, like, hey, Daffy, you don't have query on your file, at least you should have one. But it doesn't mean anything, so that there's a balance. That's one. Our group manager is no longer there now. Called me one day, so I have this. I went to meet one guy called Mr. Daffy, who sold Brilla shirt for me, and then I did 250 t-shirts and then jerseys mixed together, with different Brilla insignias on this. I love Brilla. Brilla is the best. Or Brilla and the rest of them on it. And then the guy called me one day and said, "Hey, stop wearing this thing to the office." I said, "Why?" He said, the chairman will not see it and not think that we all are not doing well, that you shouldn't be doing it. Okay, no problem. Is that what you want? If you make you feel good. But it didn't stop me from giving my best, because giving my best is my responsibility. Obstacles is going to be in your front. I'm not going to wake up and say the obstacles that they put in my front is what make me fail. And again, people always talk about happy employee. If I'm paying your salary, you got to be happy. It's not my job to ask you, are you fine? Did your boyfriend break your heart? That's not my job. When I was employing you, I didn't tell you I'm going to do all that for you. I employ you to do a job. If you're not doing it, if I go the extra mile to ask you as your parents, as your wife, as your children, as your family, that's me just being nice. I don't need to do that. It's not in the contract that we have. So we should understand, be productive. That's why you are employed. That's why we're paying you. We're paying you to be productive. I didn't pay you. You think the guys working in an oil rig think that the place is a happy environment? An oil rig is one mistake, many deaths. One mistake, many people go die. But people go there to work. You think the sailor who sails against the storms, the sea, the billowing wings and everything, thinks that is a happy working environment? It's not. The guy who catches the fish that you eat every day, the sea trawlers that go to catch fish every day, you think it's a happy environment? Every single day they go out there, they know that they will die. The policeman who go out every day knowing that he will not come back to meet his children, or who goes out carrying gun to protect and to serve, knowing fully well that his children does not have a future because of the salary that they earn, you think it's a happy working environment. So when we talk about this whole happy working environment, I really don't get it. The thing is, you are employed, you apply, you say you want to work, they call you, you see the conditions, they tell you that this is the conditions of working environment. Then fucking do your job and get out of my front. Don't tell me that you need a happy working environment. I'm not good. There's no happy hour here. No, if you want happy hour, go and buy the juice. That's how I see it. I don't know about other people anyway. Mr. Sugar, you say, Elebota, good morning. Where's my third girlfriend, the boss lady? She's not feeling fine. She's under the weather. She'll be around next week. Naomi. Saviki said, Nigeria government and the other ECOWAS country are feeling insecure that the coup trend could escalate to other West African countries. Who do any I go see any? If they don't want it, they should make their citizens live a good life. That's just the thing. Saviki said they are afraid that the trend could hold the region, whatever it is. Mr. Sugar one says, I think you really need to write a book. Who will buy them? I think I spend my time going and write a book. I write a book, finish, and then I'll see a pile of it in my house. Sondolise write a great book. Where is the book? Sondolise wrote this book. How many people don't buy it? It's not selling. It's just there. Roving Height is the slowest selling book on Roving Height shelf. And the story is there. The fact, the story. If you read this book, it will blow you. I read it on the plane. I don't even want me to plane land. Yeah, come on. I'm double to write book about your experiences at Miller, because that was really a great experience for you. Yeah, it was. It's gone. And as a Christian, say good morning, boss. Good morning. What do you think is the thinking behind us not going for a new keeper instead of a strong and bully striker? Well, because Thomas wants first time playing time, and because he's not the number one goalkeeper for the US, and he can't be sitting on the bench. The World Cup is 2026. He's angling for regular playing time, and he's spoken to the coach, the manager, Mikel Arteta, that he wants to go somewhere else for regular playing time. But Arsenal also asked him, okay, be patient with us. Let us get a replacement, and we'll let you go within the window. If you don't, you'll still be here by January. We'll let you go. Is that good for you? Or probably we'll get a new keeper in and then send you on loan, because definitely there is no way in this world that he would bench Aaron Ramsey again. Matona has shown that he's not a competition for Ramsey, and once a player doesn't have competition, complacency starts to set in. 2 seasons ago, Ramsey was better than last season, and if we go by that trajectory, this season it might be worse. Okay, so Arteta is bringing in someone who have certain qualities. The only quality that Matona have better than Ramsdale is saving penalties. But I mean, where does penalty come into league or Champions League? You are with that one a penalty against Arsenal. Let's go and put a goalkeeper. How many penalty did he award against Arsenal? How many shooter do you have in the league? There's no shooter in the league. Okay, so again, if you bring in David Raya, let's be very honest. David Raya is a better goalkeeper than Ramsdale. Yeah, the Rams have a better reflex, but in the style, the system that Arteta plays, David Raya is a better goalkeeper in terms of ball distribution, playing from the back. It's like Onana, okay, to David De Gea. David De Gea makes better saves than Onana, but Onana is a better ball player than David De Gea. So you look at the system that they're playing, and you want somebody who will start the attack, who can go long if he chooses to, like Henderson does, and who can go, as a distributor, as a carburetor, or a fuel injector, and he fits all that bill. And then he will push the Ramsdale to either improve or lose his jersey. I think it's a good one, and it's affordable. Even if they raise the money as high as 40 million, but right now Arsenal have gone for 20 plus 3. So we'll see how it goes. And the player have also agreed terms with Arsenal. I think it's a good move as far as I'm concerned. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I want to see that move happen. I don't know what you think, but that's my answer to that question. Let's come to YouTube and see what's up. Starting off with Jerry Sampson. Is that the first person? Okay. Jerry Sampson says, what's the relationship between you and Overdose? Overdose is kind of like my younger brother. I always see him as my younger brother. We've not spoken for a while. Let's be very fair and honest. But he's doing well with Wazobia and Ajinfo and the rest of it. I remember he called me when he wanted to make that move, when he needed what recommendation with Emmanuel Etim. Emmanuel Etim was my discovery. I told him, if you've made up your mind that you want to go, okay, I'm not asking you guys to do max exodus, but almost everybody that has left will have reached out to me like, I want to leave, whether it's Sexy Joe, whether it's Murphy, whether it's Sean Amadi, whether it's Kingsley there, whether it's Tipsy, guy, this is happening. One of the things that people think is you have to be a manager in a company for you to pull people together. I was holding that whole space, that whole group together without even having a title to my name, without even having a contract in the first place. Because first off, I didn't see working in Brilla as just me. I knew I was better than anybody in the industry. And this is not a show off. With football analysis, they never bought the person. So having said that, I also knew that for us to be recognized, for us to be big, the guy in the morning must be just as good as the guy in the evening. The guy in the evening must just be just as good as the guy in the morning as well. And all of us, sometimes it causes fight because I'm super demanding. Like, hey, guy, you must be up to your game. And I spend time listening to the guys in the afternoon, the guys in the, hey, no, this you just said it's not correct. But in a very polite and nice way. Oh no, this is the fact, this is the truth, this is the, and you're on air and I'm helping to research for you, like, okay, because somebody's going to, on radio, in Brilla, one stupid caller will just go and ask you one question that would be an arrow to you. So they know that place got my back. Chidozie Okoroji is the most talented person that I've worked with on radio. It's the most talented person. Man, unfortunately, he doesn't even know that he's that talented. That's the funny thing with him. It's just like Andrea Pello. He doesn't even know that he's that talented. He could be the greatest broadcaster, radio presenter ever in this country. And that includes the Dan Fosters of this world, the Marvelous Macaulay Apollo Juniors, Port Harcourt, the ABRVs, whoever has been on radio. I think I will rate Chidozie Okoroji above all of them because Okoroji is the only guy who can do everything in the setup. He can produce, he can present, he can report, he can analyze, he can mimic people, which is a very hard thing to do. Very, very hard thing. He can do everybody's show and do his own show. Because nobody can do a lot of the things that he does. Elder, fantastic guy. We had a good time in Brazil. He was a kid and he's growing. And Amazing Christian say, which analysis of the goalkeeper Arteta should have gone for Brighton keeper, whom I think is much better in distributing the ball. Yes, he wanted to go for him, but Brighton are calling outrageous price. You know how Brighton thinks that all their players are diamonds, or uranium or platinum still. You want to go for players, but at the same time you have to consider the fact that there's financial fair play. Arsenal have already admitted to 200 million. They've not sold that much. Nicolas Pepe, the contract was terminated, so there's no money coming in on that one. The only thing they're saving is salaries. A few other players, the money that they are calling for them not really matches what they do. If Arsenal goes up to spend 250, the red flag will start showing. So they're trying to find the balance, and then the salary structure as well, because that's the first tax that was given to Arteta when he came in. cut down the salary. Arsenal was the third highest paying club when Arteta came in. Now they're one of the lowest paying club, and everybody's not towing their line. Manchester United, Liverpool, everybody's not towing their line. So I cannot understand that situation. Let's move further on the show and see what others are saying. Olanuri Obari says, so the other day, right, I decided to depress myself for no reason by going to FIFA Plus to watch all Super Eagles World Cup games against Argentina. Although I still invest. Sorry about that. It's you indulge yourself in the wrong way. Mr. Sugar, I want to say that truly you are better than all of them in analyzing football. But Anthony's voice gave me chills. He almost collect my girlfriend with his baritone voice. So I think Anthony have the potential to be like the greatest of all time and beat people like Stephen A. Smith of ESPN, beat the greatest of them all. But I would always say that where I trump Tony all the time is the fact that Tony is a stiff analyst, and it's one of the best person that I've worked like my pair, the best pair that I've worked with. But you know, it's like when we do attack right now. When we started a conversation in attack debate, I know from the get that I win this one. This one, I will win this one. You know, this is not luck. I'm going to, because it's very predictable. And sometimes it's too. Tony is a by the book person, very very by the book person. I think he's the most honest human being that I've worked with. Most straightforward. Tony is not a hanky-panky person like dribble people. You know, he's by the book. He's as clean as a whistle. Tony was the kind of guy that they would tell me that he is corrupt, he stole money, and I would say I'm going to swear on behalf of him. I'd like put my neck on the line. I know, sir, I'm not gonna die. That's the guy. But that's all about what I work with. They're on their own. But Tony is, come on. Tony is a fantastic chap. Fantastic chap. And then he's got that voice of thunder. The only two people. I think the best voice I ever heard on radio when I was in Bella was George Essien and Big ID. But attitude, character, not good. Project 7 says, what was the issue with Nicolas Pepe? He knows Sabi play ball. There's no issue. He knows Sabi play ball. Mr. Sugar, I want to say, I don't even know what women see in this deep voice self. Well, just the same way I don't know what they say six-pack. Women see things differently. I would have asked these kids in the building, but they are teenagers, so they might not know. The day we start having older age, like people in their 20s, maybe we would ask them that question. I don't know myself. But for a presenter, for a radio, baritone voice is what radio need. I think I'm the first person in Nigerian radio to have a feminine voice and cut it on radio. I remember my first audition, 29th of July 2004. They told me that my voice is so bad. I'm knowledgeable about the game, but my voice is so bad that I shouldn't. It was Bimbo Adeola that I shouldn't even bother going to church to give Thanksgiving. If I want to give Thanksgiving, I should write it. And I think that's the best thing that anybody's ever said to me, because I didn't want to do radio before. Let's be very honest. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to prove my flat. The guy that was sporting with me, you know, I just want to prove to him that I could talk on radio. I didn't do it for 2 weeks, and then I said I'm done. But when he said that, I was like, what the? Did you just say that to me? Okay, so that's the first time anybody would usurp my mental balance. Like, did you say that to me? Are you allowed to say that? And then I turned to him and I said, see, this time you'll quote me. That's all I said, and I left. Fears and like, not only is he quoting, he's using my content to do show. That's how powerful insult can drive you. Like, people can insult you and it can drive you to be a monster in the industry. You know, so once I left that place, I remember I went to my house. I was living in Koide, 2nd Avenue, number 68. I went home and I said to my flatmate, I said, 1-0, you have won. I lost this one, but I'm going to bounce back. And my coming back, I will rule this industry. Mark my word. And he was like, shut up, worry boys, that's all they talk. You know, it was okay. It was okay for him to mock me. He's won. We had a bet, $100 bet. He's won. And I was looking at him like, it wasn't the $100 that I lost, but it was the fact that somebody said my voice is too tiny. And my voice was really tiny. Because I used to sound like Alvin and the Chipmunk. Yeah, I used to sound like a very tiny. I could talk very fast. Then I got the chance. I was invited one day on the 12th of August 2004 by Ama Ignis. I think they were expecting Peter Rufai didn't call me. And I just drove. Just called me. I just drove. I was close. I just drove to VI. It was Sunday afternoon, and so like I nailed it. I'm like, can he be coming every Sunday? That's how life score started, and the rest, as I say, is history. Today, look at me. Tisa says, "Good morning, sir. What's the one trait a presenter must have to succeed in the sports presenting industry? He should know more than everybody around him. He should know, because so the thing is, in Nigeria today, we don't know the difference between a presenter and an analyst. Every analyst on the show is better if your presenter is good. That's what I love about Tony Becker-Deremo. Tony Becker-Deremo is a guy who makes you better, because he's going to ask you those questions that will bring the beast in you, will bring the analytics in you, will bring the special side of you. But at the same time, it could poke you at any given time. You don't expect it. It will bust your bubble. Like if you're going too much and it's getting into your head, you just Tony is a master. He's a master in the act. So a presenter must have more knowledge, must do a lot of research, must understand the subject, must know where you need an expert opinion, where you need a free-fall analyst, and when you just need a regular opinion. Okay, so take for instance, when Osimhen got injured in the eye, that's not something you analyze. You're not an expert. You're not a medical expert. Tony would go get a medical expert to talk about it and get the job done. Back in Bella, it was a full buffet. It was a complete buffet. So you don't just do a show. I don't know what they do right now. I don't know what they tell the people that are there right now. But when we were there, beside what the radio station, we felt, we're having competition. First of my competition was Sports Vision. I don't know about the other people, but it was the guy that I was aiming for was my Igbo, the late Deji Tinubu. I know that I was, so I adore Omoto Igbo to the very end of the world. Like, he's my forebearer, right? But in my head as an analyst, I didn't see him as an analyst. I see him as a presenter. But as an analyst, Deji Tinubu was the guy. And I knew that if I can cancel this guy, I'm the best in Nigeria. But that's not the end. There's a guy in ESPN at the time, his name is Tommy Smith. And I sound like him, I talk like him, I behave like him, because he was like the role model that I had on this job. So I've like, if I conquer Deji Tinubu, I'm going to take that guy's head. That's the head of the dragon, right? I'm going to take that guy's head off completely. That's when in 2007 I started predicting how the season will end from the beginning of the season. It was something that's never been done before by anybody, and I was so consistent with it, people started getting angry. It's like, that's Nigeria for you. People hate you when you're good at what you do. So a presenter must read more, must know more, must have facts at the back of their hand, because sometimes when you come as a presenter, must also be very, very fluent, know how to pronounce names and words, and know how to also, so in today's world, broadcasting is not what it used to be. You have to also know how to make it enticing, in other words, make it sexy, appealing, put a sex appeal to what you do, and know how to mix it up. Okay, so I'm a science student, I read engineering, so and first thing I did was to bring my knowledge, my academic knowledge, my football knowledge. I'm an ex-player, I'm a former coach, former club owner, so there are things that I know about football that a lot of people don't know, so I brought it in. But beyond that, I love relativity theory a lot when I was in school. So I said to myself I was going to use that as my trump card, because by the time I came in, everybody was just being pure football presenters and analysts, head to head, key battle. It was monotonous, the same thing all over again. And I said, you know what? I know that if I'm on air on Sunday, a husband who likes football is driving on the road with his wife and children who are not interested in football. How am I going to be able to mix the Bible, because most of them are coming from church? People ask me, why do you always put Bible in your analysis? It comes from that. People are always coming from church, and you need to connect some things to them. So in my head, I'm playing, what are the scriptures that most of the pastor would have preached this Sunday in diverse areas in this Lagos? Okay, so let me start picking some things. Towards the end of the month, pastors always preach about prosperity because they want you to pay offering. So I'm going to look for all the prosperity scriptures and use it to do analysis. The second week of the month, pastor preach about repentance and forgiveness and all that, and your soul section and all that. You look for the scripture. It's common sense anyway. Common sense and psychology, you just apply them. So a good presenter must read the room. When they say read the room, know your audience and master your subject. That's just it. Mr. Sugar say, I miss you and Tony on Sunday Football Live. You guys made me clue to my seat till your show was over. So bad that my mom knew that when it's 12 p.m. on Sunday, I'm not going out of the room. I kept you safe. I kept you away from crime. We both kept you out of trouble as well. Project K7 says if more people are called out, they'll change and there'll be fewer people they can abuse or exploit. Okay, Project K, you say I love how you call people who have bad characters that well, it's my industry, and first of all, they cannot come out and tell me that this did happen because these are facts, right? You just say, but then the ones I need to praise to, I give them the praise as best as I can. That's just the way I see it. There's a lot of people have helped me. One of them is Tenisa Nakomi. Tenisa Nakomi is the best person I've worked with in my entire journey on media. But the best advice I ever got was from DJ Omoto Ibo. That guy, I think, is the one mentor that I have. And then in going to start my own business, the best advice I have, I've not been able to go back to say thank you to that person, is from Kayode Tijani. The one person that brought out the beast in me is Mr. Godwin Enakena. And that guy got me on a different place. But the best supporter that I have is not a broadcaster. It's a guy called Bayo Michael Akande. Fantastic guy. I don't know anybody who believes in me. The guy believes in me more than I believe in myself. Project K7 said, former club owner, you must have been wealthy since the mid 2000s. I used to own a club that played in the league, first amateur club to play up to quarterfinals, first person in the history of this Nigerian football to sell a player for 2 million, first person to put a sell-on clause for a player transfer, first person that negotiated a $2 million transfer of a player from Nigeria to Egypt. No other person. Any other thing after that, they're coming behind me. Well, you can go ask Mike Kidoku how Robert Akari was signed from Warri to Lobby Stars and how they went on to win the Super 4. Was it Super 4? Super 4. There was Lobby Stars, Plateau United, two other clubs, I've forgotten their name now. And then Robert Akari went on to play for Al Ahly, and the rest of them. It's a long story, but he's late now, but it's a long story. I was involved in the transfer of Cristiano Ronaldo to Perugia. Chris Aseka was the guy who did all the magic, wonderful guy. I've not seen that guy in a while. Great people. Project K says, for example, you had a $100 to stake in 2004. That's chicken feed now. Mr. Sugar, guy, you don't try, no be joke. All right, that's chicken feed. $100, 2000, big deal, like. Olayo Baggy says, so the other day night I decided, Casey Kenty say toxic is understatement, that's murder. Okay, Casey Kenty say, who no go no. Kenty say, everyone at the top has some unique stories behind it. Lord Mayor, he said, my predictions, 2 African teams will exit round of 16 and one of them will progress to the quarterfinals. That's nice. But you didn't mention them. See, be bold. Put your signature on it and say this team. This is the most ambiguous, vague, undirected prediction. You don't understand. You say if you go out today, you will see 2 beautiful girls. Are you okay? Are you okay? There's always going to be beautiful girls. Tell me what you really think it's going to happen. Put your neck on it. Put your name on it. Put a stamp. As Americans say, you've not got a skin in the game. Put a skin in the game, and then I'll understand what you're saying. And DJ Lavoma say England is a powerhouse in women football. They've really invested. If they win the World Cup, I won't be sad. I won't begrudge them. I think they deserve it. The investment that they put in, they deserve it. So I want to see them progress. I also like how South Africa, Morocco is making progress, but South Africa, they like to sing too much. They still think that they're still in the apartheid time. They try to bring all these Sarafina, Sowotel, Masquire kind of behavior. Where it's in their culture. England is a powerhouse in women football now. However, I am standing on our Super Falcons. I am rooting for the continuation of the underdog surprise. I won't win. Okay, no problem. I like that. The other one say, first of all, thank you very much for always going back to my live video to watch it, and every interval dropping, punctuating the views with your comment. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. You are one special fellow using our logo as well as your emoji. Your profile picture. Sometimes I forget these things. He said, good morning, brother. Good morning to you. He said, I think the Raya signing would be good for Arsenal. Competition in all departments, but they still need to sign Mohamed Kudus. Saka doesn't have a competition. Lord Mayor say, boss, do you think Arsenal will go for a wide forward or a striker since Gabriel Jesus is injured? I hope they do, but I don't know. I hope they do. I also hope that they get Mohamed Kudus. He can score, he can create, and he can add competition to Bukayo Saka. He doesn't have a competition right now, and he's a 75% season player. So the other 25% might just be where we lose everything. This season is open for Arsenal to win the title. I know Manchester, for sure, Manchester City will not win the league title. So it will be very, very bad if some other team just breeze past Arsenal and want to win the title. Man City is out of the title race already, but they will be a force in the Champions League anyway. The last one to say, Man City and Arsenal should be contending, and maybe Man United too. Tottenham, Liverpool, and maybe Chelsea can pretend. My thought. We see what happened. Leave Tottenham out of that. Every other thing you said is correct until you now went to mention that shitty club called Tottenham Hotspur. Divine Tokyo say, let me digress a bit. I wish our league teams can handle their Twitter handles or social media like Cadiz handle theirs. Okay, the club keep making me fall in love with them with their consistent engagement. Yeah, you know, in a city, they are in a city that have 5,000 people, and they engage more than people who live in cities that have over 1 million or 20 million people. That's very, very strange anyway. But again, those guys, they handed the job to a company like my friend's company in Germany, Resort Sports, the company that is owned by Marilio. You know, when you give professionals a job and you pay them to do a job, you put an expectation. But when you leave this thing, say, my mother used to say, go to where everybody they feed, now hungry will kill them, because A go to say B don't feed them, B go to say C don't feed them. For you know, now hungry now okay they go. That's exactly what's happening with most of this club. Let me give you a very good example. The league is starting on the 25th. There is no promo. There's nobody advertising it. The EPL, the advertising of the league returning have been on since. People talk about it. With the assumption that everybody knows is the anointing. And when I keep talking, people look at me like, they're even telling me that I'm overdoing. The people who own club, who own the league, who run the league think I'm overdoing. So I'm just going to observe them and see what goes on. Let me say, boss, so you see those Morocco girls, they grew strong into the tournament. I remember when Germany beat them 6-0. You know, read them then. I still don't read them now, Sharp. I still don't. I think the next game will show that. Man, aside from you at Brilla, then I didn't play when radio's anchor is on air. I remember I don't love missing Sunday and Saturday shows. Then with you, Tony, and Raji came very late. Raji was not really part of, I mean, one of the best person that I worked with anyway, and he came in late because the company also know that we don't ride along. Like, we don't ride along at all. The Raji didn't do Sunday with us. He didn't do Sunday. Maybe occasionally just drop by, but we never did Sunday with us. The Raji said this was before the collaboration with the foreign partners. Yeah, Arteta using Timber for the left back. Do you think Tierney will stay? I think he should stay. Because I don't know what's going to happen with Tomiyasu and the rest of them. Jerry Sampson, please, can you tell us why Bimbo Adeola left Brilla FM? You go and ask Larry Zamojo that question on me. Because Bimbo have the same voice with Larry. You can go and ask the same Larry. He will tell you why Bimbo left. When you see Bimbo, that's his story to tell my story. I can only tell my story. He left in 2007, but you can go and ask why he left. I mean, he's online asking. He's the owner of July 27th media right now. Let me say, boss, what is that one wrong thing you did that you regret doing? When? Where? I need to know, is it media or in real life? In life was, I think one thing was so I stabbed somebody who's on wheelchair right now. When I got out of secondary school, I think I overreacted. I beat my younger sister and he was bragging about it. And so it is one thing for you to touch my people. It is another thing for you to start telling people that if you do anything, you will beat them the way you beat my sister. Say nothing happen. If I not do anything, why? Okay, so he started bragging about it, and I think that's the only one thing I regret. Every other thing that I've done in my life. Again, another thing I regret was, okay, so when I came back from the World Cup in 2014, I wanted to resign because I'd reached 10 years in Brilla, and originally my plan was 10 years. Like 10 years I'm done, I'm going to do anything that I want to do. I've had the experience. 10 years is a decade. It means that and in 2014, to be very honest, I fulfilled my dream. Playing football as a kid, I wanted to play at the World Cup. I've always felt like World Cup was the ultimate. So I got injured pretty early. Now I was at the World Cup as a commentator. I was at the famous Maracana Stadium that I used to dream of going to play a friendly match at. You know, at the home of Pele. That's why I used to call it. And so I was at the famous Maracana doing the finals when Mario Götze scored that heart-breaking goal, chesting the cross from Andre Scholle down and putting it past the Argentine goalkeeper, and scoring that goal that broke my heart because I really wanted Argentina and Messi to win the World Cup. I've wanted Argentina and Messi to win the World Cup since 2010. Maradona came in as a terrible coach, and then in 2014, it was Gonzalo Higuain. The team they sabotaged themselves, and I felt bad there. So when I came back, I'd made up my mind to resign. I spoke to group marketing manager Akimbode Babatunde Semiu, fantastic guy. Taught me a whole lot of trick about marketing, about brand positioning, and also helped me save a lot of money. And he's a very, very another straightforward guy. Buy my books, okay? And I talked to him. He's a guy that I could relate with, even though he's in management. But he comes to my level because he's got my respect for me. Like, okay, guy, you know this game. You make us sell. Okay, you do your job. Your job makes it easy for us to sell. So we relate like we're equal, co-equals. Okay, so he's got this love for worry people, but he's still worried briefly. And I told him, and I had my resignation letter, and he said, no, keep it. Don't worry, just give it some time. And then the emotional blackmail came up. Oh, if you do it now, next time, chairman will not allow anybody go to the World Cup, any major competition again, because you just went and came back and you decide to resign. You didn't even let us benefit from the experience. Okay. 3 years down the line, I was fired. Should have resigned. I regret that. That's a mistake. Follow your instinct all the time. My instinct says I promised myself it was going to be 10 years. 10 years came. It was the longest time I've worked anywhere in my life. So I should have left. Again, but hey, just one of those things that happens. We've not talked about football, guys, and the show is almost over. Such a beautiful show today. So that's the one thing that I regret. Two things that I regret. If there was ever a regret. Divine Toke say 12 p.m. Sundays was the time of Brilasha. I go just humble for one corner. Listen to the very end. I don't care if any match start around that time. I must wait to the end. Nobody say, boss, do you rate those channels TV sports guys like Austin? Austin Ocon is my dog, like my boy. I use that word not to disrespect him, but I remember when his late cousin Valentine Wambele came and said, this is my boy, my younger brother, my younger cousin. He's just come out of Covenant University. He needs your guidance and your help. And we started talking. Austin is brilliant. Austin is, since private universities that they teach me, Austin is a very brilliant chap. And he's creative. He's got a creative hub in his head. He thinks very well. But I think this is what I think about channels and a few media outfits in Nigeria. They overwork the horse. So the horse, they're not specialized. One person wants to do basketball, everything, and which I don't think it's right anyway. But I can understand it's the economic situation. But they are big companies; they should do well. I think that they have their ways. Everybody's not going to talk sports the way we talk sports. They have their way, and TV is quite different from radio. So TV is 75% aesthetics and 25% information. So for them, Austin Ocon is my guy. I'm always going to speak good of him because I watch him grow. I watch him from NN24, and NN24 was very fantastic. They were vibrant. Just how it is. The economy will mess you up with your brilliant ideas. The economy can mess you up, and he got to channels, and I think he did well. He's in London now, but still with channels, and I think he's done well for himself. The other guys, not really a fan. So I like watching people above. And this is not a show-off thing, but I just think that it is the high-performance mentality that I have, probably coming from football. You want to learn from people above you. You don't want to focus on people that, like the gap between you and them is from here to Australia. You just kind of wish them well. They should grow up and be good, but I'm always. When I want to watch sports, I go to Sky Sports, I go to TNT, I go to CBS, I go to ESPN because that's where the leaders in the industry are. And some podcasts, like the Underrated podcast by LeBron James and his team, and a few of those, I watch them like, okay, good. This is what they're doing. What am I going to do different? What am I going to bring in? So does that mean that I've seen somebody that's better than me? Not really, but I just say that the production, the creative mind, the work around it, and all that. It's just what I look at for. So all this, I can tell you that for the last 10 years, I'm not sat down and watch channels, sports. Nah, I don't get that time. I don't have it. I would listen to a podcast that would help me information-wise. Sometimes there's too much lack of creativity listening to Nigerian sports presenters, so you get bored. Especially those ones that once Pep Guardiola loses, tell you, oh, he's a fraud. Please, tell me what the team that beat them did well to make them overcome Pep Guardiola's tactics and his team. Don't come and tell me it's a fraud, it's a fraud, it's a fraud. Since I say, what's your present relationship with Dr. Lai Zamoja? I don't know him. I don't want to have a relationship with him. That's the truth. And I mean, I know that to this question you would want to hear one very nice answer. I don't know him. I would never want to have a relationship with him. The right word to say is I was one enemies, and it's good. It's fine like that. Okay, don't make friends with people who will do anything to kill you. That's just an advice. Love me say our basketball women making us proud despite the mess in the leadership of the basketball federation. I think sometimes in teams the coaches matters a lot. And I remember when they came out with the open trial, and I supported it, and everybody was hackling on me, trying to kill me. Look at the team, look at what they are. I think coaching matters a lot, and this coach came and made a statement. First off, a fashion statement was incredible. I mean, once almost everybody is drooling for that woman right now. Everybody wants to give her a ring. Everybody wants to propose to her. Everybody wants to take her on a date. First off, the packaging is excellent, and then she selected her team very well. There's a giant Kamala on that team. She practically stopped a dunk by not jumping. She just put her hand like this. Nigeria have a tank in that team in defense. I've forgotten her name now. She's like Shaquille O'Neal. She doesn't need to jump to get to the ring, to get to the basket. That is amazing. And then the movement, the footwork, the whole movement of that team is beautiful. I think she selected a very good team. She still need the financing, the support to go for that, because the world stage is a different thing. But in Africa, I said it before the tournament started, that this team will take everybody to the cleaners in Africa, and they've done that. They've got finance now. I hope that they will. PSG is building a good team and preparing life after Mbappe. Yes, this is what they should have done since. Beautiful life story. Okay, now let's go to sports stories. Okay, let's do some sports stories. You got one stuff for me now. Okay, you just enjoying the show, right? Okay, that's good. You came to the cinema today. Yeah, Liverpool wants another midfielder in their team, while Chelsea need to solve their striker crisis. But how is your club shaping up, and who are they targeting? Like the question I asked, who's the player you would want, like seriously want and wish your team to sign right now? Right now, who's the player that you want your team to sign? You would be happy they sign it. For me, Kudus and one striker. I don't even have a striker name in my head, but one striker would do. If they bring in Kolomwani, I'll be fine. If they bring in Lilian Thuramson, I'll be fine as well. He said, with just over a week until the Premier League season gets underway, managers throughout the top flight are frantically working to put finishing touches to their squad for the 2023-2024 season. It will be hard to look back on this transfer window as anything other than the Saudi summer, with stars such as Karim Benzema, Fabinho, Riyad Mahrez, Henderson and N'Golo Kante choosing to follow Cristiano Ronaldo example by moving to the Middle East. However, there is also been plenty of eye-catching businesses across the Premier League, with 6 players moving for more than £15 million, while Declan Rice joined Arsenal for £105 million. Damn. Manchester United hope to unveil Rasmus Ogochukwu or Akpomedai Hodlong before the friendly against Lens on Sunday. The deal is done, signed. Just a few paperwork, medicals will pass. 72 million, with the striker agreeing a 5-year deal ahead of the £72 million move. It's just some tiny, very, very tiny veil details. Manchester United plan to unveil Rasmus Hodlong before their friendly with Lens on Saturday after he passed his medical and agreed a 5-year contract. Eric Ten Hag's side will play their penultimate friendly of the pre-season campaign at Old Trafford, and fans will be treated to sight of the club's latest £72 million signing just days after Ireland put pen to paper. The Danish wonderkid joins, underline that word, wonderkid, joins the Red Devils from Atalanta as their priority signing after first securing the services of Mason Mount and Andrea Onana earlier on in the window. Brighton expect Moise Caicedo to stay at the club after the transfer window closes, and amid interest from Chelsea, with the Seagulls believing no club will match their £105 valuation. The midfielder has been the focus of feverish interest for clubs including Liverpool and Chelsea. The Blues have been dogged in their bid to secure the Ecuadorian services. Well, it ain't happening. Well, somebody's planning to walk out on the club just before a week or less than a week, 8 days before the season starts. Julian Lopetegui could walk out on Wolves just weeks before the start of the season, with a Spaniard concern over lack of transfers and seeing a host of stars leave Milan. Whoa, Lopetegui first raised eyebrows as the season came to a close, as he questioned how he would be able to continue at the club due to the restrictive transfer policy. Well, from one club who cannot sign players, having a Spanish coach, to another club who have a Spanish coach, but dealing to keep a player with their team. As a player who signed 18 months ago is now looking to run away. Aston Villa's Lucas Digne, remember, he used to play for Everton. He's attracted interest from Al Hilal less than 18 months after his move to Villa Park. Villa Park, the village where they have a motor park. Villa Park, I'm just the one saying that one. With the defender, the latest Premier League star to be targeted by Saudi side. Serie A champions Napoli, the club that have Victor Osimhen as their poster boy, managed by Frenchman Rudy Garcia, showed a tentative interest, yet Digne's high wages made any deal difficult to happen. But hey, well, Saudi clubs don't have problem with that. Well, let's talk about one player who is begging the other to stay. Please don't go. I'm begging you to stay. Yeah, James Madison is singing Casey and Sunshine. Please don't go to Harry Kane. He's holding out hope that Harry Kane, who he calls the world's best number, I agree with that, stays at Tottenham this summer amid strong interest from Bayern Munich. There is a guy called Erling Haaland, and somebody says that that man is the best number 9 in the world. Again, there is a guy called Karim Benzema in the long period of time, and they say Harry Kane is the best number 9. There's a guy also who's lived on this space whose name is Robert Lewandowski. They say Harry Kane is the best number 9. English people, I'm not going to take conk. James Madison is desperate for close friend Harry Kane to reject a move to Bayern Munich and stay to team up together at Tottenham under Ange Postecoglou. Madison, who headed to North London in a £45 million move from Leicester City this summer, has a close friendship with Harry Kane. We both came golfers away from football, but with German champions Bayern ready to smash the transfer record with an £85 million bid for Kane, there is a growing sense that his days at Tottenham's lead striker is coming to an end. We get into that place. Arsenal is also set to bid, Arsenal have bidded 20 plus 3 in add-ons for Brentford goalkeeper David Raya, with the offer expected to be rejected immediately as the Bees continue to hold out for £40 million. Okay, let's see how that goes. Well, let's go to Nottingham Forest, that is gradually becoming an NPFL club. Nottingham Forest made £21.5 million bid for Roma centre-back Roger Ibanez as boss Steve Cooper seek to boost his squad for the new season. Nottingham Forest have made a £21.5 million bid offer to Roma's Brazilian international centre-back Roger Ibanez. They are still in discussion. It's not been rejected, but it's not been approved as well. Well, there's a coach who, even though his team have had a very excellent preseason, still worries about some signing. Yeah, Mauricio Pochettino oversaw a promising unbeaten preseason campaign with Chelsea, but with the new season looming, the Argentine is facing a midfield dilemma. If nothing else, almost 6 years at Tottenham and 18 months at Paris Saint-Germain, we would have taught Mauricio Pochettino how to be a diplomat. It would be impossible not to learn such skills as the public face of a club run by the divisive Daniel Levy, and then having to try and manage the out-of-control egos, some of them forced on him at France's biggest club. Subsequently, reading Pochettino is not the most straightforward task. Okay, Nats wants to sign Arsenal winger Marquinhos on loan despite the Brazilians' ineffective spell with Norwich in the Championship last season. Marquinhos initially impressed after joining the Gunners last summer as he was handed minutes in the Europa League and scored and assisted on his debut. But after that, he's gone south and not really done well. But then Nats are still saying to themselves, we will do it. We will get it done across the line. Choose EA says good morning, Elegweta. Good morning to you. I'm feeling the all red ensemble you've got going. What happened to the MTN content you mentioned to me some time ago? They did not put that money forward. Anytime I look at the yellow chair in my store, I remember you. Oh, you're still there. I thought you're threatening me like that. Go buy it. They didn't put their money forward, but I would still come back for that chair. Let the season start. We have some. I mean, we've been really low on cash. Investing my money to travel around Nigeria, it's not going to look like a bad advice, but it's not bad. I don't regret it. Whatever I do to promote Nigerian League doesn't hurt me as far as I'm concerned. I just feel like That's one of the things that you leave for history. TGIF, according to my sister Oluyens, he said, Uncle, you can't Arsenal sue those who negotiated Pepe contract. We were swindled, unless you have evidence to prove that they were swindled. But I was shouting from the rooftop, and you people told me that I should be patient. Well, Patience Jonathan Patience is the wife of Goodluck Jonathan. I didn't make him get a second term after his first term. So let's go to YouTube. Additional Ufoma says beautiful life stories. Bobby Okigwe says a good morning Idafe. Despite England topping their group with a 100% record, they haven't faced a stand test. I know it. Nigeria will beat England. I hope so. Nigerians' greatest Achilles heels is what England would benefit on. Nigerians turn over possession too fast, and we're too profligate in front of goal. We don't convert the chances that we create, and we play the ball like we are afraid to keep possession. Those things are things that England can exploit. The thing with England is their crosses are the best in this tournament. They can shoot from outside of the 18. They hit the ball very, very well. And, a lot of things that they have going for them that we don't have. But, it could be our day and it could be a bad day. Let's hope that happens just like it happened with Australia. But, in my years of following football, I hate to bank on luck. I like to bank on ability. And based on ability, tactical approach, and techniques and everything, England takes it on Monday. I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but that's what my football head is telling me, and I hate to argue against my football head. Every time I've gone against my football head, I've lost. But I will be pleasantly surprised. I will be over the moon. I'll be over the moon if we beat England on Monday. I'll be over the moon. But like when Nigeria won the Olympic gold in '96, that's how it will feel like for me. Yes, Bobby Okugo said for Arsenal, I think Raya is being bought to usurp Ramsey because he's not just higher. I tell everybody. Let me say Ramson is an Inter Milan player confirmed the beginning of the transfer. I know I said that's one of the players that I was hoping for, but hey, we didn't get him. I did a lot of my say I am using one eye to watch Chelsea. They don't look bad. I keep saying that they will not win the league title, but if Arsenal doesn't set themselves up knowing fully well that Man City is not going to win the title, Chelsea might just come in and spring a surprise on everybody. But I think that in the next 5 years, Chelsea does not have what it takes to win the title yet. But 5 years is a long time. But that's how I said 10 years for Man United in 2013, and people went to court to get a court injunction against me. I remember 10 years don't pass. 10 years don't pass. Lord Mayor said England women is good, but they still miss Bethmead. See, with Bethmead, they've not scored this number of goals in their group game ever in any competition. So what are you really saying? They're missing like what? Though new signing Alexis Toso is good, but Bethmead is better. National team is the same player. Get out. I don't know what you talk. Former Dijala say Wolves are really not ready to remain in the Premier League. Their financial constraint is on the high. Now relegation next season, Lopetegui should run, right? And then he went to say, Harry Houdini Kane better run and chase that trophy. Nah, those your people where they say please don't go. Now your village people, messengers, them be run. Bayern is calling. You know that I might say they are better than us in terms of quality and tactical intelligence, but I wish my dear home country all the best of luck. They will find a richer workplace or Susakina. And God, cause Italy and Germany could crash out. It's possible. So when you don't start to the pool, God doesn't play football anyway. Even I might say I think and want United to struggle just because but I want Arteta and Edu to get us a striker because I do worried. I don't believe in Nketiah. Rara. I agree with you on that one. I'm on the same bench with you. Let's take off for 15 more minutes. So, got a question now. Yeah. So let me come to you guys again. What's the question, Mama? Okay. Speak loud, please. Let me hear. I can't hear you.
Like producing like a game with a team normally. How do you like come up with it?
Okay, so let me give you the answer that I gave somebody some time ago. Do you agree with me that there are some things that you just know because you know them? And like, do you hear voices? Do people speak to you like do you think that you hear something? Do? I said, no. Let's be fair. Have you ever heard something but you know that nobody's standing next to you, but you heard it?
Yes.
Does it ever happen? And then sometimes you just look forward and it happens, right? Has it ever happened?
Yeah.
So for football, when I was growing up, there's this thing my mom used to say. My mom used to say, it's an Oromo parable, but I'm going to try to make it in English. She says that if a leaf wrap a soap for so long, the leaf will begin to bring foam. And she says that when she wants to, like, because my mom just believed that I grew up in a crime-infested area. If you grew up in Warri, there's an area called SSRO Generator. So that area is where I grew up from. Eduku, when I brought me from the UK, took me to Eduku, from Eduku to SSRO Generator, like that. So it's a high crime environment, like really, really, like crime. It's like Kingston, Jamaica of the 70s and 80s. And my mom felt like, so my mom does not believe in deliverance. People go to church and say, let them pray for deliverance. My mom does not believe in that shit. Like, it's the stupidest thing you can ever do to take your child to go and meet one pastor to deliver. She doesn't believe in it. It's a mockery of the power of God. That's how she says it. My mom is an illiterate, but she has common sense. And she used to tell me that keep reading. Eventually, this book will save you. That's how she says it. And I think that between 1986 and now that I came in contact with football and I fell in love with football, although I've done a whole lot of other things, I think I still like cooking more than football. There's a whole lot of other things that I do. I would have been a great fashion designer. My mom was a seamstress. I would have been a great fashion designer if I didn't fall out of love with it at some point, because I decided looking like my mom was punishing me with everything. She just cut, so I run sew. So I can sew very well, like really, really sew very well. But I started hating it because, I want to go out with my friends, and my mom's like, go and sew this cloth, go and sew that one. The buba, I don't cut up. So it was pissing me off, like it was taking away my time. And then when she's not sewing, like there's no much weight of customers, like May is Women's Day, Assemblies of God, and so that month she's going to sew a lot. When schools are resuming, plenty of uniform. Her job is just cut. My job is, I'm the one that sews. She cut them, label them. My job is to put them together, and I didn't like it. So when I'm not sewing, I'm reading. My mom goes out. My mom had bought the same book for me 4 times before. She didn't know, but she just got the same book. No, but you don't buy this. Okay, don't worry. I go back. She goes out and she buy. So I kept reading. But then football was one of those things that really, like, if you say what saved me from crime, is football. So I got deep into football to the point where I started feeling like I noticed before they happen. I had this premonition. I could tell you this is going to happen and it will happen. Initially, it cost me a whole lot of trouble. So let me give you a very vintage example. We lived in number 10 Oakwood Street, owned by the late Chief G.E.M. Ogedegbe. And then he's got this son. His first son bought a white Mercedes Benz. And after 3 days, I came out and I said, Amrabat snatched this car. 4 days later, Amrabat snatched the car. They gave us good notice to leave the compound. Because they couldn't, this was 1992, they couldn't fathom how, this young man would say this thing, like he has not planned with armed robbers. So my mom now said that anytime I have those kind of dream or those kind of things, I shouldn't be saying it out. And it's the African thing, right? So they kill your talent and your ability. But then I quickly also moved out of my parents as I went to go and stay, because I became a problem child. I went to go and stay on my own in number 15 Yosi Street, Okubo Avenue, and then of Ejibodaro. And it was in that space where I was alone, when I lived alone till I went to Port Harcourt, that I developed this skill to see the future. I could see ahead. I could hear things. When I tell people that I don't watch football the way they watch football, they argue with me. Like, how do you know this much and you don't? I don't watch football. And it's very, very boring to watch football. I used to hate it, especially when I got injured and I didn't watch football for a very long period of time. But I know that I hear things. So that's how I predicted. Like, when I predicted that Germany was going to win the World Cup in 2014, I was going to work that morning. I was driving. I like to listen to music. One thing I don't do going to work is to listen to other sports stations. It would just piss me off. So I put my music. I was listening. I was grinding. And then it just felt like the whole music stopped. And I heard Germany are the champions of the world at the Maracana. And I went to the studio and I said, Germany are going to win the World Cup. Argentina are going to be in the finals. Messi is going to cry. And people just got angry. Wait, I'm always wondering where their anger is coming from. They don't have fact that Germany is not the champions of the world. And in 2013, when Alex Ferguson was leaving and he said he was going to bring, again, apart from hearing things, I also, so because I study science, I know patterns. I think that's the one that works. The science behind my prediction is more about patterns. I know that in football, patterns work more than any other thing. Any other thing, you can sign the greatest player, patterns work very well. In life, if you study patterns, you'll be most successful. So David Moyes have never coached a team that have gone past 7 on a regular basis. The most he's gone was in 2012 when they got to 4th position, Everton, and Chelsea won the Champions League. So his average position is 7th on the log. And then they went to go and bring him to come coach the biggest team in the land. So a small boy who's carrying a small masquerade cannot just overnight go and carry the real masquerade from Okija Shrine. So I knew he was still going to bring that mentality. Again, when George Graham was sacked at Arsenal in the 90s, they brought in Bruce Roach. Bruce Roach was the assistant coach at Bolton Wanderers. And what happened was he took Arsenal from up, title contenders, to Bolton Wanderers level. So I have always known that in football, those patterns don't lie. They can never change. Because if you bring a high performer into a space, it will bring high performance. If you bring a low performer into a space, it will bring low performance. So the pattern, I studied it and said Manchester United are not going to win the league. They will end in 7th. That people were pissed because since the Premier League started, they've not gone lower than 3rd. They've only been 3rd once or twice. The rest is first and second. So to say they will end in 7th was ridiculous, was preposterous, was unheard of. They ended the season in 7th. So I also said that Man United was going to go 10 years without a win, but that one was easy to predict. It's just that people get too emotional and foolish. So this is how that is. So Alex Ferguson, with all of his success, is the greatest devil that happened to Manchester United. He destroyed Manchester United, just the same way Arsene Wenger destroyed us. But football people are very, very emotional, and they are like church people. Football fans, and church people are the same. You can scam them, you can deceive them. They know people don't follow football with sense. They follow with emotion. They just fall in love. So I said, constructively, as a company, as an organization, to fix the damage from within that Alex Ferguson have made will take 10 years. So bring all the coaches in this world. In that 10 years of construction, of rebuilding, of restructuring, they can't win. Pep Guardiola is not winning the league because he's the most tactically astute manager. Yes, he is, but he's got a foundation, a backing that makes him go to sleep and wake up and know that my only job is football. But when you coach Manchester United, you're bothering about how to negotiate a contract, how to do this. It's the same thing with Arsenal. Arsene Wenger, from the time that David Day left, Arsene Wenger took over, eliminated football director, eliminated everything, took the whole job upon himself. He was the El Shaddai of the club, and he almost died. So I knew that it's going to take years for success to come because these patterns are established. It's like the laws of motion, first, second, and third law of motion. You can't change it. The laws of gravity, you can't change it unless you introduce a law of lift. Okay, you need to introduce another law. For as long as you're not introducing another law, you're still following that law. It's going to hold you. You're not going to go outside and say you jump from top of this building and then you would start levitating. It's not going to happen, right? So all of those things add together when I do my analysis, and I can pinpoint accurately, like a laser surgery or like the best sniper, and tell you this is going to happen, and it happens. And in some cases, especially somebody says, okay, why don't you predict and make money? I do, but I'm not addicted to it. I'm not the guy who go to predict every day to go and play sports betting. But having said that, with the introduction of VAR and a lot of things, I think that football have been taken away from humans. It is not the executive. The business executive can decide this is who we want to win the title. Like I am saying right now, the pendulum is on Arsenal. It's not because of football. It's because of the business enclave. There's too much going to the Saudis and the Arabs. So the executive behind the dark curtains are saying, okay, let's give the Americans something to win. And the most clear one is the Arsenal one. Even though the Liverpoolians have won one, the most clear one is the Arsenal one. And if they just get a few signings right, Arsenal can win the title back to back. But they are still not there yet, but they look like one. So that's how my prediction comes in, and I listen to myself a whole lot. I've trained my mind to hear myself. People listen to everybody, and I remember growing up, my mom would say, everybody keep saying, Pastor, say, Pastor. So what do you talk? What do you say? So I think that helped me to not train myself to listen to myself. The people don't listen to themselves. People go and die. People go and get themselves injured because they don't listen to themselves. Because sometimes when you dress up, you want to go out. Your head will tell you, don't go out. don't do this thing, but you go ahead and do it, and then it goes bad. And so you've got to learn. The best thing you can do to yourself is listen to yourself. And in football, I listen to myself a lot, and that's why once I am convinced that I heard this thing in myself, I'm going to go out there and say it as loud. When everybody was saying last season that Arsenal is going to win the league title, I knew at the beginning, okay, Arsenal's not going to win this title. They will chase it, but not win it. Because in March the previous year, I was in Dubai. We're driving on this Tesla, and I just heard that Man United won the Champions League, the league title, and the FA Cup. And I did a show with Chikadibi, and I said, Man United, this was before they signed Alan, that Manchester City is going to win all the titles in front of them. Probably they will let the Carabao Cup go. And he was laughing at me. Like, Haaland is injury prone. This one will not happen. That will not happen. They are selling their best players. They will not get it going. I said, okay, well, I've listened to myself. I've said what I want to say. What's the worst that can happen? I'm wrong. Am I going to be the first person that's wrong? Fast forward 1 year later, Man City won the treble, won the Champions League, won the league, and won the FA Cup. So it's just knowing how to listen to yourself. If we learn how to listen to ourselves, most of these things, all these counselors, all these motivational speakers, it's not a bad thing to listen to them, but we will not spend that much time, because listen, you can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. So why do you think you will listen to anybody if you don't listen to yourself? You're your number one speaker, your number one share lady, you're your best teacher. The motivation to succeed comes from you, not from anybody. It comes from you. The day you decide, you know what, I want to be successful, you begin to succeed. The day you say you're the greatest in anything you do, that's the day you start. So it's just me listening to myself, and also knowing that you got your reputation at stake. That people who are counting every day, like, what's that one thing that you said that we want to see go wrong so that we can drag him with it? But then again, I've reached a place where I it's like Chelsea. You can't drag Chelsea. You can't banter them. They've been too successful. Like Real Madrid goes 10 years without winning anything, you still can't banter them because they've been very, very successful. So it's the same place I see myself every time. Like, you know, when I made prediction, I remember on the 2nd of June 2016, when the draws for the World Cup was made, and I said Nigeria was going to qualify with 2 games to spare, and it's like, but if you don't say that thing on air again, why you said I shouldn't say it on air? Like, what is, bring the book. So, you know, most times when they say those things, and I throw the book at them, tell me where it's written in the NBC code that I can't say this on air. I was like, okay, but you know, it's risky. If it goes wrong, they will come at the station. You might not be on air when they're attacking other presenters. You know, I said, well, let them do. I mean, it's giving us click. Gary Neville is doing it, and it's giving them click. And so it's giving us attention. So what's the big deal? What are we looking for here? It's attention. Fast forward 2 years later, we qualified for the World Cup with 2 games to spare. So it's just a crazy thing. But when I say it, people don't like, how was this one saying? I don't even try to. If you're not in the studio asking me this question, I'll just tell you because I just know football. That's the simple answer. Let me say, Arsenal signed Alexis Rosso on free transfer from Man U. She's England main striker. We're not talking of what's it called now? Arsenal now. We're talking World Cup. Brother. Yemi Dynamite. I remember that German prediction, and a lot of abuses came your way. Wish I was a gambler, I would have made a lot based off of the right predictions I have heard you make time and time again. Thank you very much. Gospiration, with your explanation of patterns, what do you think about PSG and Ronaldo in Al Nassr? Did you surprise that PSG is yet to win UCL even with all the players? So PSG have not built a team. I was surprised that they got to the finals of the Champions League two seasons ago. They've not built a team. So I know well a lot about football to sit in my house and tell you this team can win this. I was very, very surprised. So when you look at Paris Saint-Germain first, they have players who don't track back. Every team that have won the Champions League have at least 10 players that are committed to recovering the ball immediately they lose it. When Pep Guardiola's Barcelona won the Champions League, they had 9 players. So the goalkeeper is not part of it. Messi was not part of it. But 9 players who were committed to retrieving the ball every time they lose it. But most of all, they were the best converting team in the whole world at the time. So every 2 chances they create, they score 1. And then again, they keep up possession for 90 minutes. There's only one game that Barcelona lost that is still not explainable. There's no science to it. They had 89% ball possession at Hampden Park. against Celtic. Celtic had 11% possession of the ball for 90 minutes, but Celtic won the game 1 goal to nothing. There's also another game that Barcelona lost at home that defied the odds. It was Dynamo Kiev long time ago, where Sergio Rebov and Andrei Shevchenko were still playing for Dynamo Kiev. Dynamo Kiev beat Barcelona 1-0 at home, with Barcelona controlling 97% of ball possession, creating 47 goal scoring chances, having 32 shots on target, but none went in, and then they went on to lose that game. Goal by Sergio Rebov changed the tide of that game, and everybody wanted to sign Sergio Rebov. Shevchenko was looked at as a shit of a player. Rotten club. Tottenham Hotspur went to sign Sergio Rebov for big money, and AC Milan, really grudgingly signed Andrei Shevchenko. The rest, as I say, is history. We know who went on to become a great player, and we know which club went on to destroy a player. So, those occasions happen, but naturally, talking about this Paris Saint-Germain have created a pattern of thinking that they can throw money. I think they came into Europe thinking they can buy the referees, but unfortunately they were playing in a league that was bigger than them, even with their money. There's a time where you're rich, but your money can't save you. So they were rich, but they were throwing money. You have at one time, before Messi came in, you have Neymar that will not track back to save the world, Mbappe that will not track back to save the world. You also have Icardi that will not track back to save the world. You also have Cavani at one. So the team is never balanced. And then in midfield, sometimes they play a lot of ball jugglers without ball play breakers. Then in defense also, they were not a fine mix. The one time they have a fine mix, they didn't let Thiago Silva to stay. So they've not really built a team. For all things to work for you, you need to first off have a team. And then it is that team that would go on to achieve great things. I think that after they got to the finals of the Champions League, if they had managed not to bring in Messi and they managed to keep a good team going, they would have gone on to win it. I remember when Man City lost the finals against Chelsea, I said to my friends that the next time Man City gets to this final, they'll win it. It's just that simple. That's the rule of the Champions League anyway. It's just that simple. They've done all the sacrifice. They built a team. They've got to that place where it hurts them to lose. They're going to come back and win it. Also, Arsenal would have also done the same thing, but the craziness of Arsene Wenger made it to price Suarez, badly, and we lost it. If Arsenal had signed Luis Suarez that season where he priced him 50 plus 1, Arsenal had a team that would have gone on to win the Champions League. But unfortunately, the demons of Wenger robbed Arsenal of the opportunity to win it. So that's how pattern works for me. I don't know how it works for other people anyway, but to do this job, an analyst is an expert. You need to work hard, you need to study, you need to read, you need to listen to other people, and then put everything together. Then you now come out with your own prognosis, your own position on the matter. And sometimes it could come back to bite you, but hey, it is what it is. You've got to be able. Gaspar say, well done, boss. I love your show. I usually do not meet up. Please, what time on days do you do your show? It's 9 a.m. to 10, but sometimes we have to add extra 30 or 45 minutes based on from the fact that maybe we didn't do the previous day or we lost some day. And then Friday, we take it long because it's all in. You ask any question you want to ask, and we take it 90 minutes plus, and that's exactly what we've done today. Well, we'll be here again on Monday. By the time we come back on Monday, we'll be talking about the fact that the EPL, Leicester, are they ready to come back immediately? But the game today, let me talk a little about the game today. Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton. Now, look at another pattern. Southampton in the last 10 years have not won their opening day fixture. The last 10 years, whether in the Premier League or in the Championship, Southampton have not won a fixture. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they've not won a fixture in the last 10 years. Today they go away to Sheffield Wednesday, who narrowly missed the chance to get in on the playoff and get to promotion. Now this game is going to be crazy. It's going to be tight. What's my prediction on this one? I don't know who's going to win this one. Whether Southampton are still crying from their relegation or they are going to change anything. But one thing is guaranteed. If anybody is a betting person, you can bet your entire life on this one. It's going to provide goals over 2.5. So a number of 2.5 bet is as good as money in the bank. That's all I can say about that one. Like I said, this season, we're going to have an additional evening show that focuses on bet for the weekend. I'm not decided what day of the week it could be, but it could be 2 or 3 days of the week. Mondays, so that we can account for Champions League. Friday for weekend game, and we could do Wednesday as well. But there's going to be of changes, and if you've not subscribed to the channel, do want to subscribe. If you want to support us, you know how to reach out to us. Reach out to me on Elevator1 on my DM on Instagram, and we get conversation. You want to be part of the show as well. Somebody wrote me and said, I need to have Emmanuel every day. So which game is over 2.5? The game Sheffield Wednesday in the EFL, English Football League, which is called the Championship. EFL, Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton. Okay, that's the game that is over 2.5 guaranteed. First game of the season officially. The season resumes today. So there's going to be a lot of games tomorrow. I just might do a 5-minute video of my predictions. So stay up here, subscribe to the channel, help us to grow, support us as best as you can. If you love what we're doing, tell other people about it, and then let's keep it going. It's been the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Idafe Matthew. So you love to come in Elegbete on the Sports. I've been in the studio with the amazing, awesome Uche. Awesome, have a lovely weekend. And Joy Bassi, no relative of Ida Bassi, but she's going to do greater things than Ida Bassi for sure. Don't have a wonderful weekend yourself. And to the listeners, the viewers on Instagram and on YouTube, God bless you. And the guys who listen on the radio app and also on our website, please do want to read stories about the Nigerian League. We have this fantastic writer that we just got in our fold, who gives you up-to-the-minute report on transfer, players, movement, coaches, and everything in the Nigerian League. So you can go to www.elegbetetv.com/radio to listen on the app, on the website, but then to read stories, www.elegbetetv.com. We'll feed you up with a lot of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Ibanga Smart, he said, you'll be talking about the Super Falcons victory. I don't understand. That's going to be like a Monday. I know that I have a pre-match show, maybe Friday, Sunday evening or Monday morning. Yeah, Monday morning before the match, and then after the match, it's going to be my post-match analysis. Thank you very much. And be the very best of who God created you to be. Be a solution, not a problem. Add value and not take away value. Bye-bye, and have for yourself a wonderful day. Let your weekend bring you joy. Bobby Kigwe, why did you choose to come late? You see, the one player I want United to sign is Victor, the ultimate warrior Osimhen. I still believe this dream will come true, but not in this week too. All right, keep on dreaming, Martin Luther King. Bye-bye, have yourself a wonderful weekend.